Hello.
Hello?
Hi, my brother. Can you
You
hear
hear
me?
me?
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, I do.
Would you like to change to video call?
Right now?
Yeah, I have changed it to a video call. Can you see me?
Yeah, I do.
Amazing. So, would you like to open your camera, or should I close it too?
I mean, since I showed you my face,
Yeah. Okay.
I
You know
can
what?
do.
I promise you that I will not. But are you sure this was your face?
Yeah, that's mine. I will show you on camera right now.
Okay. You
It's
can just
me.
show me and close it, and I promise you. Yeah. No problem. This is not gonna be in the video. Okay.
Okay.
Amazing.
I showed you in private because
Yeah,
in this camera.
you want your face to be private, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Not like I'm scared or something. I just don't want to be.
yeah,
No.
I get you, brother. No problem, no problem. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
I close my camera as well, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
wonderful. Uh, just, okay, so we wanted to debate. Was it you that were texting me on TikTok on my live and wanted to talk about, you were like saying, uh, talking about Saddam, right?
Yeah, and other things like.
Yes, I understand you. I understand you.
Mm,
So the first thing
yeah.
that I want to tell you, my brother, like,
Okay.
uh, you're not like Saddam is not your father, and those people that died, they're not my relatives. We're just from the same ethnic group. You also have Kurdish,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So my point is, I just wanted to keep it as respectful as possible. Like I don't like
Same
it.
here.
We can use freedom of speech, but not be using some like cursing each other, stuff like that. So we can have
Yeah,
a normal conversation together, like two friends arguing and discussing about something. Okay?
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely,
Amazing, my brother. Amazing. So
okay.
I told you, let me just get the messages.
Absolutely.
Give me 1 second. So I asked you which kind of topic would you like to talk about, and you first said everything, and I told you that like everything would be not organized, and we cannot like literally talk about all of the history and everything. So I recommended to you to accept a topic, okay? And you
Yeah,
accept the topic about. Let me just find it. You said Saddam, Peshmerga, and Halabja, right?
yeah, yeah.
So my question for you is that what is your view on Saddam?
Look, as someone who my father worked for Saddam.
Okay.
He was Kurdish, as I told you.
So your father was Kurdish and he was working for the Ba'ath regime, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
my uncle received a medal from him, from
Yes.
Saddam himself.
Okay.
Uh, Basically, they were never discriminated, even after the Gulf War, like the Battle of Sulaimania.
Yes.
Yeah, they never got discriminated. Nothing happened to them, like, or, suspected for anything.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like an ordinary Iraqi. He was treated the same.
Yes. So your father,
Mm.
he accepted. Let me. I just want to understand it clearly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your father accepted that he is Iraqi and he worked for Ba'ath regime and he got accepted by Ba'ath regime, right?
Well, there's many of the Kurds say that those Kurds who are born in Iraqi Kurdistan, are Iraqi. And most Yazidis and many of Kurds in Iraq, they just call themselves Iraqi.
Okay.
So does my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my question is that do you think the majority of people, of Kurdish people
Mm.
from Bashur of Kurdistan, will call themselves as Iraqi or just some of them?
For me, I say it's some of them.
Okay.
From what I heard, most Kurds I met, they say they are Iraqi from Kurdistan, like
They're
Iraqi
from
Kurdistan.
they're from so most of the Kurds that you met they said they're from Iraqi Kurdistan. and
exactly.
but you said that some of them would accept that they're actually Iraqi. They live in Iraq. Yes?
Yeah, like the Assyrians, they say like I'm Iraqi
Yes,
Christian.
Assyrians, but you know that Assyrians are kind of a different ethnic group than Kurds.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Like the minorities of the Iraq mostly say like the Turkmen, Iraqis, they say they're
Exactly,
Iraqi.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like the
exactly.
Turkmen, but
Not
the biggest minorities in Iraq, the largest are the Kurds, following
exactly,
between 8 million to 10 million Kurds living in north
exactly,
of Iraq. Okay?
exactly.
Amazing. So yeah, continue. You were talking about your father, that he got promoted by Saddam, and your uncles, they were working for Saddam and they never got discriminated, right? But
Yeah,
what
exactly.
is your personal view on Saddam? How do you see Saddam?
Well, for me, when he attacked Kuwait, like as a person that I love him, he did a big mistake by invading Kuwait.
Okay. What
Yeah, but
about what about the time that he tried to invade Iran?
well, Iran will like try to expand their Shia religion, or like the Shias things in Iraq, because the majority of Iraq are mostly Shias, Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah. So and you see right now the Shias are fighting each other. The ones that are pro-Iranians and the other ones are Sadris. Muqtada Sadr. They
Yes.
like like the government is puppet of Iran, just like he expected to be.
Exactly. The government
Yeah,
of Iran is controlled by the
yeah,
Shia rules. That like majority of
exactly.
Iranians are
Yeah,
Shia, and the government is actually Shia. Because
yeah,
if you look at the
exactly,
name of it, it's like the Iranian Tashayyu, Republic of Tashayyu of Iran. I can say it in Persian, but
exactly.
if you translate it to English, it would be something like that.
Like the Islamic Republic of Iran, like that.
Islamic Republic of Iran. But if you look at it the
Yeah,
Persian way, it would be the uh, حکومت اسلامی تشیع ایران. The Persian name would be
uh,
that.
I understand that
Yes,
because
yes,
I say Sharia things. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's a fact that Iranian regime is Shia, and there's
yeah,
nothing to hide from. But you said
exactly.
that you love Saddam, okay? And okay, you know what?
Yes,
It is your opinion on
exactly.
Saddam. Are you agreeing? Like this is your opinion. You say, okay, I'm as
Yes,
a person
exactly.
that I'm half Kurdish and I'm half Iraqi. Like my mother is Iraqi,
Uh,
Arab, and my father is Kurdish. Okay,
yes,
uh, and you say that your opinion on Saddam is a good person. But
exactly.
me, my father, he's from
Yeah,
Bashuri Kurdistan, which you call
okay.
north of Iraq. Okay,
Yeah,
my mother, she's from Roshalati Kurdistan, what you called Kurdistan in Iran. But
exactly.
if you look at my opinion, I would say
Mhm.
Saddam was a dictator who killed, massacred, and committed genocide against Kurdish people, okay, and other minorities in
Mhm.
Iraq as well. But
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about the other minorities because I'm Kurdish and I want to mainly talk about the Kurds. And
exactly.
let's look at the facts together, okay?
Okay.
Saddam, he was born in a family. He was a Ba'ath regime supporter. Even it was a time that he tried
Mm.
to assassinate the republic, the president of Iraq before the Ba'ath regime. And even there are stories of him that he ran away to Egypt by a donkey, or I don't know if it's true, if it was by a donkey or if it was by a car. It's like something that people are talking about. Okay,
Mm.
so let's say not like that. He fled after they couldn't assassinate the president of Iraq at the time before the Ba'ath regime. He ran away to Egypt. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he came back, the things turned, the table turned, and blah blah blah. Saddam became the president of
Oh,
Iraq. Okay?
yeah.
So we know,
Yeah.
we are agreeing until this time. Are you agreeing that between 1987 and until 1989, Saddam Hussein, he committed Anfal campaign?
Well, the Anfal campaign was mostly done by his cousin.
But it was under Saddam's rule. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
under Saddam's rule. Saddam was the president at the time, and I can,
yeah,
I have the article in front of me right now about Anfal campaign, and there are the names of
yeah,
the generals of Saddam. Okay, like Ali Hassan al-Majid, Secretary General of
yeah,
Northern Barono of Iraq's Ba'ath regime, and then we have
yeah,
Sultan Hashim Ahmed, we have Sabri Abdul Aziz al-Duri, we have Hussein Rashid al-Tikrit, and then we have Tahir Tawfiq al-Ani, and we have Farhan Mutlaq al-Jaburi. These are the all of them. They're like people working under Saddam and working for Saddam, that they had the duty of doing the Anfal campaign. But my question for you is, do you know what is Anfal campaign?
yes, it was an ethnic cleaning like of the Kurds.
Yes, but do you know what is exactly the meaning of Anfal? It means the spoils of war. Okay, the spoils. It's an Arabic word, and even I believe that we have a Surah Al-Anfal in Quran as well, that the name has gotten from that. And the Anfal word by itself, it means spoils of war. Okay, do you know how many Kurds approximately died in Anfal campaign under the Saddam's rule?
Well, like I read some Wikipedia, it says like 250 Kurds has died from it.
1,000 Kurds, right?
Yeah, thousands. Yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, thousands of Kurds. Okay, they're like different things because there are many mass graves. There were like women, children, civilians, men who died in Anfal campaign, and a lot of innocent people, to be honest. Okay. And even before the Anfal campaign, we can see evidence of Ba'ath regime forcing the Kurds to immigrate, like forced displacement of Kurds and sending them to Iran. Okay, we have that one as well. But the main topic that we want to talk about right now is the Anfal campaign. Do you know what is a genocide?
Yeah, it's like war crimes.
Exactly, like mass killing of an ethnic group or the same religion, or because of their ethnicity or because of their religion or stuff like that. It's that. It means genocide. Okay, my brother? And we have different genocides by different dictators like Stalin of Soviet Unions. We have Hitler at the time of the Nazis. We have dictators from China who done the same thing. When we can you tell me what Quran says about taking an innocent life? Are you Muslim?
Yeah, I'm Muslim, brother. It says you're killing all mankind.
Exactly. Quran says that if you kill one innocent person, it's equal to killing all of the humans on the planet.
Yeah. So wait.
And it says if you save one innocent person, it's like you have saved all the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you? Yes.
But like in war reasons, it doesn't count. Like when you are have war against Iran and a soldier killed another soldier, it doesn't it's defending your country. That makes you a shaheed.
Okay, my brother. You know Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, right?
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad was in many wars, right? When he got the control of Mecca, the city of Mecca, did Prophet Muhammad say that the people that they stay in their houses would be forgiven and they wouldn't get any harm? Did he say that, or he didn't? Even at the time of the Islam, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, at the time of the Khulafa al-Rashidin, at the time of Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, Ali, at the time of all of these Khulafa al-Rashidin, that they are great men in Islam, there has been wars. But in all of the wars, they have attacked and killed the soldiers. And we see many stories of them not attacking women and children. that they were there in those houses. But we can see that Saddam did the same thing. He attacked, but he killed mass graves. Like, we see pictures of small children being in line to be buried alive. How would you try to explain that? How would you try to justify it, that why Saddam lined up small kids and buried them alive? Because the small kids and the women, my brother, they weren't soldiers. Okay, it wasn't a war of them. Okay, maybe the men were attacking, but it wasn't. They weren't soldiers. Like a 12 years old kid, 10 years old kid, or even smaller. They're not soldiers. They are innocent people. And we see in Islam that Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, has said it many times that he loved children. Okay, but we see that Saddam, he killed children in Anfal. So that's why these are the facts that I'm saying. Okay, you say it was a war. Soldier kill soldier. It's a bad thing. War is a bad thing. War is a catastrophe. War is not good. Okay, but okay, let's say there is a war. Okay, there is a war. We don't look at it which side is good, which side is bad. We look at the actions of the both sides. We can see that Saddam did Anfal. And what do you think about Halabja?
Well, the Halabja, like, I'm not gonna be say like that was Iran, or I'm not gonna say that was Iran.
Yes.
So basically, the Halabja was done by both Iran and Iraq at the same time.
You know how do you know how did Baas regime justified the chemical bombing of the master gas in Halabja in the court in their trials? Do you know what they said? They said that Halabja actually was a part of the Anfal campaign, and they did it with the master gas because Halabja was surrounded by Iranian soldiers, so they couldn't send in their own soldiers. So instead, they bombed it with mustard gas, but it was a part of an Anfal campaign.
So you see, with the war between Iran and Iraq, which led them to the gas, the area the Iranian soldiers were in. They had no other choice because the Kurdish Peshmerga sided with the Iranian army.
Do you know why? Do you know why? What time did Halabja happen? It was 16th, I think it was 16th of March 1988, but Anfal campaign started in 1987. And even before Anfal campaign, we see political prisoners being held and executed even before the Anfal campaign started it. So the excuse of the Peshmerga of siding up with Iran was because Baas regime has already started the Anfal campaign at 87. So that's why in 88 we can see evidence of Peshmerga siding up with Iranian regime, okay? Which I am not a very big fan of Iranian regime. To be honest, I hate Iranian regime more than anything else, okay?
Yeah.
But the thing is, my brother, you say that you love Saddam Hussein. Well, Saddam Hussein, if it wasn't because of Saddam Hussein, Iraq was very, very economical and political stronger country that it is today. It was actually because of Saddam Hussein that there are many Iraqi people that they live in poverty. They live in a bad situation because he wanted to show the strength of Iraq by attacking Iran, and he wanted to get the control of Kuwait by attacking Kuwait and causing the death of many millions of Iraqis, my brother. So it's not only the Kurds who were victims of Saddam. There were also many Iraqis who were Iraqi soldiers and normal Iraqi people, civilians, who were the victims of Saddam Hussein. So, but at the end, there are many people that they say they loved Hitler. Many people, they say they loved Stalin. But the fact is, what the actions of these people shows that these people would be considered as dictators. Yes, my brother, that is my negotiation. But, and let me tell you something, you have seen my videos. I love Arab people. I love Turkish people. I love Persian people. Okay? I have nothing against anybody. I will assure you that. I love everybody. The only people that I really despise and I hate are the racist nationalists that they use anything against for their own benefits. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You can see the situation of Kurds in Iran. The Kurds are the third minority in Iran, but 60% of the political prisoners who get executed in Iran are Kurdish people. The same thing goes for Turkey. Look at the war in Rojava of Kurdistan.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see it? And why do you think the Kurdish people, they got their parliament and they got KRG in Bashuri Kurdistan, or what you call in Iraqi Kurdistan? Because of all the things that Saddam did. Even the Iraqi parliament agreed that Kurds have suffered enough in Iraq. So that's why they told them that we're gonna give you your autonomous region so you can study in your own language. Okay? And actually I do respect them for that. But again, it was the international community and US as well who forced them to accept that. But at the end, they could say no, but they did say yes. Okay? So they made it easier for both sides. And hey, look at me, my brother. I'm a human being, you are a human being. Okay? We all of us, we are Abdullah. Okay? Like Arab people say. There is no need for anybody to hate each other. The fact is, these things are in the dark history of both Iraqi people and Kurdish people, and it cannot be denied. Do you know, I think it was almost a week ago, that 100 more Barzani graves were been found in Iraq, and they've been sent back to the Bashuri Kurdistan. Did you see those news?
Yeah, I do.
Like, brother, still, after all these years, there are still bodies that are Kurdish bodies of Kurdish people that are being found in the deserts of Iraq. Yes.
But do you know there's people like said Saddam killed over 250,000 Kurds, but only 4,000 of them with the 100 they found a week ago were found. Did you know that?
Yes. But at the time, there are many Kurds, many graves have been found, and still, they cannot find every bodies. And even because of Halabja, there are still Kurdish people that they born with disabilities, without a hand. What a big, great sin is that in front of Allah? Without a hand, with brain damage, with skin damage, with saratan, cancer, because of the mustard gas and the emotional damage of after. I have seen old women that they are going crazy. They are crazy now. They lost their mind after what happened in Anfal, the survivors of Anfal campaign. My brother, in the eyes of Allah, these are great sin. And you know that, and I know that as well.
I do.
So that's why I'm saying that, let's be honest. You consider yourself Iraqi, okay? Love to you, okay? Nothing but love to you. I hope that you never see any hardship in the world. And I hope and I wish for Iraqi people that they never experience something like Anfal or something like Halabja that happened. I hope every Iraqi people live in a good condition. But the thing is, Kurdish people after Sykes-Picot Agreement, they have suffered a lot, okay? There is 22 Arab states, okay? 22 Arab states. There is 3 Persian states. There are 3 Turkish states. But there are millions of, more than 50 million to 70, between 50 to 70 million Kurds live in this world, and they don't have a country. It's wallah, it's a sin, my brother. I'm telling you, even a lot of sheikhs, a lot of people, they come up and talk. Look, we have been brothers and sisters for many years. Look at the Salah ad-Din Ayyubi when they fought for Palestine. Look at all of the dynasties and all of the empires that Arabs and Kurds lived together in peace and harmony. But When you look at Iraq, when you look at Syria, when you look at Turkey, when you look at Iran, all of the governments, they are دولة المتعصبة. You know, they are nationalists.
Yeah.
They are nationalists. So that's why Kurdish people, they become minorities in those countries. So that's why Kurdish people, they don't accept it. I mean, look at Islam. If it was according to the Islamic rule, Kurdish people should have had the right to study, read and write in Kurdish. If you look at the Islamic rule, there shouldn't be a difference between a Kurd or a Persian, a Kurd or an Arab. But look at the Kirkuk. What happened in Kirkuk? All of the government, they threw out all of those people out of Kirkuk. There are videos of it. They changed the language in the school, and they don't accept the degrees of the Kurdish schools anymore. Like, many things are happening, brother. And if you are a true Muslim, you would support us, because these are the facts. These are the things. I'm trying to compare it to Islam for you. So that's the thing. But my brother, is there anything else that you want to say?
No, but like, what? Right now, you said right. You're angry at Iraqi government for stealing Kirkuk, like getting Kirkuk back. You know, right?
Yes, for invasion of Kirkuk.
Yeah, but in '98, in '91, when the Kurds got their autonomous region by war, like the same way Iraq got Kirkuk, they did it on the Soleimani and Erbil, like they got it back. Don't you think the Iraqi people will get mad, or the Iraqi government will get back mad too?
So let me tell you something. You are saying that Kirkuk actually belongs to Iraqis, okay? The thing is, if you go back in time, go back to 100 years, okay? Before the Sykes-Picot Agreement, there was no country called Iraq, but there was Iraqi people, okay? The Iraqi people, before the Sykes-Picot time, they were living in the deserts. They have their own tribal chiefs. They were living in tribes, and they were living in different dynasties. It wasn't a government, it was dynasties, okay? But after that, after Sykes-Picot, Britain created Iraq to control it, to colonize Iraq, okay? And at that time, if you look at the Kirkuk's geographical description, Kirkuk is on the mountains, okay? It's close to mountains. Kurdish people have lived in Kirkuk. There are descriptions, there are books, there are actually maps of the time of the Ottoman Empire, okay, many years ago, even thousands. There are maps of Ottoman Empire that actually shows that Kirkuk was a part of Kurdistan, okay? But let me tell you something. I will guarantee this to you, my brother. Like, guarantee this to you. Kirkuk is a city with a lot of oil, right?
Yeah.
If Kirkuk didn't have all that oil, Iraqi government will never look at it, will never consider it as Iraq. The only reason, Dawlatul Iraqiyya, the Republic of Iraq, is attacked Kirkuk and controlled Kirkuk and took down changed the flag on the hand of the Peshmerga soldier, the statue of the Peshmerga soldier that he was holding the Kurdish flag, and changed it to Kurdish flag, to Iraqi flag. It was only because of the benefiction of the oil laying underground of Kirkuk. I will promise you that the only reason that Iraqi government is claiming Kirkuk is because of the oil and nothing else. Exactly how at the time of Saddam claimed Kuwait because of the oil underneath it. You think what is Kuwait? Like, it's a small country, right? But why Saddam was looking at it so much? It was because of the oil. Because oil.
And Kuwait installed a pipe underground Basra.
Exactly.
Do you know how much oil they stole from Iraq? Like Iraqi oil, not Kuwaiti oil.
But it is.
While we were on debt, like over 100 trillion debt, we needed the money to pay our debt off.
Hey,
But
listen to me.
they,
Do you know what was the main reason of Saddam attacking Kuwait? It was because at the time, with the judgment of President Bush, they started this war. The President Bush said to the Kuwaitis, to the Kuwait government, to pay $10 billion to Iraqis, okay, because of the problems they had. And
mm,
the Kuwaiti government paid only $9 billion, which, because of that $1 billion, it infuriated Saddam, and Saddam started the Persian Gulf War. So that was the reason. But let's not get distracted to the Kuwait. The thing is, talking about Kirkuk, look at the geographical destruction of Kirkuk. You can see maps from thousands of years
yeah,
ago
but
of the Ottoman yeah.
Kirkuk is mixed, like Iraqi,
Do you know?
Iraqis,
Do you know why?
Turkmen,
It
Kurds.
happened. It happened at the time of Saddam. Okay, when Saddam Hussein, he knew that Kirkuk has a lot of oil underneath. So have you heard about the project of Arabization, the Kurdish city?
Yeah, I heard.
Yes. So
But
what
it's
was the point?
happening.
Even if you talk to the Iraqi people that they live in Kuwait, in Kirkuk, sorry, in Kirkuk.
Yeah,
If you even talk to them and ask them, they will tell you that it's either their father that moved to Kirkuk, or it was their grandfather that got money from the government to move and live in Kirkuk. Bas regime bought many houses in Kirkuk, and even those Kurdish people that didn't sell their houses, they got banned from Iraq, and the forced displacement of Kurdish people happened. And they sent thousands of Kurdish people to Iran, and they're on the news, like newspapers, many articles there is about it, and it called the project of Arabization Kurdish cities. So yeah, they
yeah,
bought all of these houses in the Kirkuk, and the majority of people to become Arabs, and then they claimed it. It was exactly like that. And I always say it to everybody. Anything that I say, if you don't believe it, it's really easy. You can go Google it, different sources. We live in a age or in a time that you have Google, you have the internet.
yeah.
So you can see footages, you can see informations, articles, verifications, like in Arab people, how they say asnad, okay? You can see a lot
Yeah.
of it. So that's the thing. But yes, my brother, this was... the things happened in the past. It happened. You cannot change it, okay?
Yeah.
But the thing that we can change is for the future. My people in Bashuri, Kurdistan, they live in a bad situation economically because of all of the war, the bombings of Turkey, bombings of Iran, the routes of supply being blocked by the Iraqi government, different stuff, okay? And I decided I'm not a journalist. I just grew up, my mother, she is a journalist. She writes articles. So I grew up studying this stuff. And the only reason that I'm talking about it is to spread awareness. I'm not trying to hate on any nationality. I'm just trying to help the Kurds to be seen in the world. So that's the thing, my brother.
So you said like the situation in Bashur, Kurdistan, are they having economic problems, right? You said that.
Yes.
What you love Masoud Barzani? What do you think about him?
He is okay. Do you want to? So you know what? I believe that Masoud Barzani is a leader of Kurds, but as I said it in my TikTok as well, I'm not a member or a supporter of any leader or any group. The only leader that I support, and I say it freely, is Qazi Muhammad, which I believe you don't know him. He's at the part of Iran.
I do.
Qazi Muhammad, yes.
He got executed by hanging by
Shah of Iran, exactly. The Republic of Iran, Republic of Mahabad, he created that. So yeah, he is the only leader that I'm saying. But what do you want to achieve by bringing Masoud Barzani's name in this conversation? What do you want about him?
Because the reason like Bashur Kurdistan having economic problem, there's a new article. It says, Nachervan Barzani. You know him?
Yes, Nachirwan Barzani. Yes, I
Uh,
know him.
exactly. He has bought a house in like California for
Mhm.
77 million
Yes,
dollars
yes.
on in USA, and while his people having problems. So how do you think his dad and him are the leaders of Kurds? How do you think? Why do you think so?
Brother, there are many countries in this world, but there are even more than those countries. We have more leaders, okay?
Yeah,
I call it corruption. Let's say, yes, Nachirwan Barzani, he bought that huge mansion, a house, a very
yeah,
expensive house in USA, okay?
exactly. Yeah,
While his people are starving, okay?
exactly.
But what does that do to Iraq blocking the routes of supply to Bashuri Kurdistan? Like Iraqi government is angry at Nachirwan Barzani for buying a house, so they block the supplies to the Kurdish people.
No, it's not. No, it's not that because the PKK and those KBD,
Yes,
the Iraqi government have problems with them too. So
but
to
you
prevent
know
them
that the
from
Barzani
expanding.
family, KDP, like you say, but the Barzanis, they don't accept PKK. You know that, right?
Yeah, right now they are at war with each other, right?
Yes.
And yeah,
So
like I said,
so Iraqi government should be actually happy because of it. Because
no, 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 it's not.
what if KDP
No,
accepted PKK and PKK could come into Bashuri Kurdistan so freely?
not like to prevent them from expanding, to like start a war with Iraq or uh, a war with Peshmerga, because right now we have a peace treaty with Kurdistan and Iraq's regime.
Yes.
You know that, right?
Yes.
So to prevent that, they closed
Okay.
the supply things.
So let me tell you something. So you're saying that Iraqi government blocked the supply routes to Bashuri Kurdistan to prevent
Mm,
PKK from expanding. Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, and Yebeka too,
So
because
so that's the
in
justification. So that's the justification of because there is a group called PKK and YPG that
mm,
they are in war actually with Barzanis. Okay, the Barzani
yeah,
family, the KDP, who is actually controlling the Bashuri Kurdistan. The Bashuri Kurdistan are fighting with PKK. So you, like the government, decides to cut the supplies to KDP to prevent PKK from expanding. How does that work, my brother? Like, you don't like PKK, right? Iraqi government, they don't
no,
like PKK, and
I
KDP
don't.
don't like PKK. So KDP is
Mm,
fighting PKK from and not letting them from coming into Bashuri Kurdistan. But Iraqi government decides to cut the routes of supplies to KDP. How does that work? Like, just think about it. That's not a justification.
yeah, because like in May we had a war with Yebeka, like in Zinjar. You know Zinjar?
Yes.
Yeah, we had a war, which was a conflict with the Yebeka and Iraqi government in Zinjar. It ended. I think Iraqi government won, if from what I heard.
Okay, my brother,
And
but the war,
uh,
the war was between Iraqi government and YPG. So
mm,
why are you putting sanctions on KDP? What is the KDP doing? KDP is actually helping you by fighting them as well. But you cut the supplies to KDP instead of cutting supplies to PKK or cutting supplies to YPG. You leave YPG and PKK, but you cut supplies to KDP. Like, I don't
no,
understand.
no, we're cutting the like sanctioning them only YPG and PKK, you know, the war that happened in
Yeah,
Sinjar,
yeah,
they were
but
both.
but you have sanctioned KDP as well, the Bashuri Kurds. So
No, since it's no. Since you know, KBD and Iraq's regime, they
yes,
are allies. They didn't sanction
sanctioned.
for them. Yeah, extinction for them.
But that's not true, my brother. They are still the routes of supply to Iraqi Kurdistan or Bashuri Kurdistan is still blocked into this day that we talk. Like it's been
When did it happen?
you know, I'm telling you, it's been verified by the Iraqi government, like in the news. It says it there as well that we have gotten supplies and we have put a sanction on KDP because of the war of Kirkuk. It's
Uh,
like
do you know the obvious reason? USA sanctioned Iraq like Saddam
okay,
because it had war with them. Had
yes,
war with them. So Iraq had war with Kurdistan, and to prevent them from taking Kirkuk back, to sanction them and weaken them. You know,
to weaken the
understand me?
KDP.
Yeah,
Why?
because
Because KDP has a good relationship with the USA?
to prevent them from taking Kirkuk.
From taking exactly. So say it like that. It's not because PKK. It's actually because of Kirkuk, and it is. You didn't know this, but I'm gonna tell you. One of the other main reasons that they are putting sanctions on KDP and Bashuri Kurds is because of the good relationship between KDP and USA and Israel. So that's one of the other reasons that they're putting sanctions on
And
them, because KDP is being supported by Israel and by USA. So Iraqi government is afraid of them because they know that Israel and USA actually are stronger than the Iraqi government if you look at it, and they think if we don't cut the supplies on them, so they can get them some supplies, they can reinforcement, and they can get the Kirkuk back. But at this time that we're talking, Iraqi government is actually taking all of the oil out from underground of Kirkuk. But let me tell you something. 100%. When they took all the oil out, they will leave Kirkuk again. They will give Kirkuk back to the Bashuri Kurds. They don't want Kirkuk, and they know Kirkuk doesn't belong to Iraq. They want the oil undergrounded. When they got the oil, I will promise it to you that they will go back and they will let the Peshmerga to take the city again.
what if that doesn't happen?
It will happen, sooner or late. Immediately after Kirkuk doesn't have any benefits for them, because right now there's a lot of stress on the city of Kirkuk. Why do you think Iraqi government is putting themselves under all of that stress even after what Saddam did? You know, after Saddam, Iraqi government and Iraqi military have a bad name in the world. So why do you think they are risking all of this and being looked at from the international community and from the UN in a bad way again? Because of the oil, because they want to be provided by the oil. So when they take the oil and then they would give it back to Peshmerga. That was the only reason that they started everything like this. And let's end the conversation here if you are agreeing. And it was really nice talking to you, my brother. I am really happy that like
Yeah,
different people, different opinions.
yeah.
So yeah,
I got one more. I got one more question.
of course.
So let's. What do you think about Mustafa Barzani? Just what do you think about him?
Mustafa Barzani, the leader of the
Mm.
Kurds. Mustafa Barzani, he was like the Che Guevara, but for the Kurds. He was a fighter, okay?
Mm.
I have read his like biography. If you ask me, in his lifetime, there are good decision and there are bad decision as well, different parts, okay? One of the bad decisions, I believe, was the time that he actually kind of negotiated with the Iraqi government. That was one of the bad decisions that
No, but that should be
actually,
good.
actually it was good at the time because Kurds got language rights, but after they getting language right, it got cancelled because of the oil revenue. So as I said it to you, brother, the only war on Kurdistan, the only reason that they don't want to give away Kurdistan is because of the oil that is under Kurdistan. It's not because of anything else. They know that Kurdistan is a different ethnic group, and Kurdish people are a different ethnic group. Kurdistan and Kurdistani people are a different nationality than them. The only reason after Sykes-Picot they denied, even at the time of the Ataturk, they denied the existence of the Kurds, it was because of the oil underneath it. And we will see it in the future about the Kirkuk as well, that how they would leave it, like exactly the time of Saddam, that how the Arabs decided to get their oil, and then after that, after when Saddam got executed, they gave Kirkuk back because they didn't want to have more problems. They didn't want to make it really big. But exactly after the 2017 October referendum in the Bashuri Kurdistan, after that referendum, they got afraid. They were like, oh my God, what if it's not because of the oil? Why didn't they attack all Kurdistan? But they just attacked Kirkuk because of the oil, because they don't care about Sulaimani, they don't care about Hawler because it doesn't have oil, okay? They care about Kirkuk because all of the oil. So after the referendum, they thought, okay, you know what? The referendum got voted. So Kurdistan, if it's Kurdistan going to be a state, a country in Bashur of Kurdistan, we're going to lose Kirkuk. So what are we going to do? So in an attempt, the Iraqi military, they attacked the city of Kirkuk. Why, if the problem was because of referendum or stuff like that, why didn't attack Zakho? Why didn't attack, I don't know, Sulaimania? Why didn't attack Hawler? They precisely attacked Kirkuk only because of the oil.
Well, it wouldn't have happened because Iraq government gave them warnings.
Exactly, gave them warning to not be independent, to not have a referendum.
No. Because they didn't withdraw. They warned them if they don't withdraw from Kirkuk, there will be a conflict between them.
Why specifically Kirkuk? Why specifically Kirkuk? Only because of the oil. No, why not? Hey, don't you say? You say that it's north of Iraq, okay? So it's north of Iraq. So it means Hawler is north of Iraq. Sulaimani is north of Iraq. Why did they exactly attack Kirkuk but didn't go to the other parts of north of Iraq? It was only because of the oil. It was only because of the oil. It's not because, listen to me, the Iraqi government doesn't care less about Sulaimani and Hawler, or saying, okay, this is north of Iraq or something like that. The only thing that they care about is the oil. So when they got the oil, they will give Kirkuk back. And they threatened the KRG. They were like, yeah, don't do a referendum, if you don't withdraw with Kirkuk, if you don't give us Kirkuk and make a referendum, we will attack the city. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
It means they don't care about north of Iraq. So it means Kurdistan is not north of Iraq.
Yeah, and like before ISIS expanding, Daesh.
Yeah.
Expanded. I think when Iraq lost Mosul, the Peshmerga attacked Kirkuk. Got Kirkuk.
So before ISIS, Kirkuk was what was it? Kirkuk was under Iraqi government?
Yeah, it was under Iraqi.
No, my brother, that's not true. Even the mayor of Kirkuk, I can get his name for you right now. The Kurdish mayor of Kirkuk. Okay, we go to Kirkuk situation right now. Secretary. Come on. Yes. It completely explains different articles that it will explain to you that even before Daesh, Kirkuk was actually a city controlled by KRG, exactly right here, controlled by Erbil or Hawler, that KRG is located there as well. So
Do you see this picture?
let me check it.
See, that was in 2014, like when Iraqi Kurdistan.
Can you tell me why Kirkuk is still purple here?
That's because it's from 2014.
Yeah,
and war
okay, my
between-
question for you is, my brother, you have shown me one picture right now here, okay? It says Iraqi Kurdistan with the Arbil here. The Iraqi Kurdistan part is purple, okay? And
Yeah.
at the up they say territory controlled by Kurdish forces, purple, and Kirkuk is in the purple part. But
Yeah.
the draw is something else. Do you know why? It's because
Wow.
that drawing, that part, the purple part, all of it is actually Kurdistan, Bashuri Kurdistan. That drawing
Yeah.
is the exact border recognized by the Iraqi government. Okay? It's not something that has gotten recognized internationally. That's the part that is recognized by the Iraqi government, the line. But Kirkuk is in the purple part. Even the picture that you sent it to me actually backs me up in that part.
No, because when the war was between Iraq and ISIS, when Kurds lost Mosul, most of its northern part, the Kurds warred against ISIS and took
Yes.
it back, the Kirkuk.
Mm-hmm.
Then after Iraq cleaned the ISIS, like they won against ISIS.
Tell me, you say Iraq won against ISIS, right? Is that what you're saying?
Iraq, because ISIS were in Iraq, so in Iraq, won against them.
In which cities of Iraq?
Mosul, Kirkuk, most of Anbar, those most northern parts, them.
The northern, you mean the Kurdistan part, right?
No, not the southerns like Basra, Anbar, Kirkuk, most of them, northern parts.
Do you agree that Kurdish Peshmerga fought a lot and took the control of the war against fighting ISIS? Kurdish Peshmerga and guerrilla. Did they help you?
They helped out with Mosul, from what I remember.
What about the other
They
parts?
helped out. And Kirkuk. But mostly Iraq done the most things.
Iraq done the most thing.
Yeah. Because, it's their territory. They had to defend it. Like ISIS were 50 kilometers away from capturing Baghdad.
Okay.
So I had to.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to. Okay. So.
And even after Saddam, Kirkuk was a part of Iraq.
Oh, really?
Before Saddam. The.
Do you know Najmuddin Karim?
Najmuddin Karim?
Yes.
Let me. How do you spell out his name?
I'll send it to you. If Kirkuk was controlled by Iraq, why did Kirkuk have a Kurdish mayor, Najmuddin Karim, and the statue of Peshmerga had a Kurdish flag in the hands, and majority of people were Kurdish? Why?
Because they used to like before Iraq attacking, they made the statue up because when the Kurds controlled it, like
So bef
2010.
so you are saying that actually Kirkuk was under the control of the Kurds, right?
Yeah, but it was firstly under the
But you
Kurdish or
said, but you right now told me,
under.
right now you told me after Saddam, Kirkuk was controlled by Iraqis. But we see right now that the statue Peshmerga had a Kurdish flag in the hands and the Kurdish mayor, majority Kurdish people. The schools were in Kurdish. University was in Kurdish. So what kind of control under the Iraqi government is that?
Because the Kurds like were in it like when owned it before, because Iraq owned it before, but then the Kurds got it again. They made those things.
What this
the
happened?
Kurdish.
When did this happen? Like it happened between the Saddam, after the Saddam, or before the Saddam?
After Saddam.
After Saddam.
Yeah.
In which war?
Invasion of Iraq, or the U.S. invasion of Iraq.
So you are claiming, but the U.S. invasion of Iraq was because of the Persian Gulf War, because of Saddam.
Well, not mostly, but there's. I'll send you something now. You should go see it right now. This is Iraq's map, 2013.
Let me check it. Yes.
And I mean 2003. This and the yellow things is territory claimed by Kurdistan.
What about the green?
Those are Iraqi Kurdistan. Before.
Can you tell me why the territory? You say the yellow thing is the territory controlled by Kurds, okay?
Yeah.
Why the what is it called? U.S. flag is there? Because it was controlled by USA, not the Kurds.
No, because the Kurds and the USA were siding against
exactly
Saddam.
It was the territory of Kurdish people controlled by USA, because we can see the flag of USA in the other parts of Iraq as well, but there is no yellow thing. What is that yellow thing? The yellow thing is the territory of Kurdish people in Iraq controlled by USA. And the green and the reds,
the Kurds
and the reds,
it.
And yeah, it was under the control of the Kurds and the USA.
Well, so
it's the territory.
So you just admitted the Kurds were actually took parts in it.
Parts in what?
In the war, and the territory.
Of course. You mean the Kurds had a part in the invasion of US? Like you saying the Kurds did Kurds help USA when USA attacked Iraq? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Of course they did. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
It's everywhere. It's not something that we deny. After Al-Anfal, after Halabja, of course. Even USA created a safe zone for Kurdish people, and Kurdish people went under the international safety protection, international protection. They were under international protection. It's not something to be hide. It's not something to hide it, actually. It's everywhere. The thing the thing is you are telling me that Kirkuk got control, like Kurdish people invaded Kirkuk after Saddam Hussein, which is wrong, because at the time of Saddam Hussein got the control of Kirkuk, but at the when the invasion of USA happened, all of the areas, exactly like the previous map you sent it to me, all of the Kurdish areas have been given back to the Kurdish people. That is included the Bashuri Kurdistan.
Yeah, but
the border that you can see of the Iraqi Kurdistan is exactly the part that Iraqi parliament agrees on. Do you understand me? But because Iraqi government agrees on that part doesn't mean the other parts belongs to Iraq. It means the other parts are still majority Kurdish people, are still Kurds, okay? And this map that you have sent it to me actually shows that Iraqi government tried to get control of the other part of the Bashuri Kurdistan, that which includes Kirkuk as well. So yes.
But you know, because after 2003, you know, the Kurdish got Kirkuk. You know, like from like after like 30 years, Iraq got it back.
When at the time of the 2003 Kurdish people got control of Kirkuk again, they got it back. The problem is that because there are still sources of that forced displacement of the Kurds. You can check it on the Google as well. Forced displacement of the Bashuri Kurds, which were mostly from cities around Mosul and city of Kirkuk, who Saddam tried to start the Arabization project by buying houses and forced displacement of the Kurdish people from those places and sending them outside of the Iraq, sending them to Iran, okay? By sending them to Iran and then put Arab people in those cities to make it under control of the Arabs.
So, and you know, the Kurds have sold their territories, you know that too.
Some of them, but majority is forced displacement.
No, because what I'm reading said most of them sold their...
No. They didn't sell their territory. They were citizens that sold their houses. It's exactly the same thing. Do you live in Europe?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's say I live in Europe. I buy a house in Denmark. A Danish guy sells his house in Denmark to me. Okay? Does that mean that house is Kurdistan? No, that means that house is mine as a person. But it doesn't mean that house isn't a part of the Danish government. Do you understand the point that I'm having here? So that's the thing. We did have civilians who sold their houses to Basque army, to the Arab people in Kirkuk. But I encourage you to search for forced displacement of Bashuri Kurds, okay, or Iraqi Kurds. Just write Iraqi Kurds. Forced displacement of Iraqi Kurds. You see images of thousands of Kurds who were majority from cities around Mosul and cities around Kirkuk, and even Kirkuk itself, that got banned from Iraq and they had to flee to Iran. And even at the time, it was in the newspaper of Iran that thousands of Kurdish people from Iraq have been deported to Iran. And it is not something that I'm making it up. It's all also on the internet, sources that you can actually search for and find about it. You know what, brother? It was really lovely talking to you. I hope we can have more discussions about different topics another time. We've been talking for 1 hour now, and believe it or not, like I've been talking on the live as well for I don't know, hour something, and I have pain, so I really need to take a rest. Okay.
Of course.
So have a good day, my brother. Bye.
Same to you. Bye bye.